After my surgery, I spent 6 days alone in pain. No calls, no messages, nothing from my parents. A week later, my mom finally reached out to demand $1,700 for my dad's big birthday weekend. I told her I was still healing. She laughed and said, "So what? You're just lying there. At least be useful for once in your pathetic life." I replied, "Noted. From now on, you're on your own." Later, I gave my dad a birthday gift he'll never forget. I drained the shared account, cut them off from every financial link, and sent every ugly truth to the relatives they pretend to impress. Yesterday, they sent 15 messages. The last one in all caps: "You're dead to us. How dare you humiliate us like this? IDK if this is a vent or just me finally putting this out somewhere public, because my friends are tired of hearing about my parents. And honestly, same. But what happened last week still feels unreal, and I want to see if I'm crazy or if this is as nuts as it sounds. I'll try to keep it short, but that's not usually my thing. So, sorry in advance, lol. So, yeah, I had surgery. Not going to get into what because it's gross and boring, but it wasn't minor. Like, I wasn't dying, but I also wasn't supposed to be up and around much for at least a week. I live alone. Not like I expected anyone to drop everything and play nurse, but you'd think your parents would at least check in, right? Like, who else do you even expect stuff from at this point? Anyway, the whole lead-up was already weird. Mom made this random comment when she dropped me at the hospital. Just said something like, "Make sure you don't milk this for attention. Your dad's got his birthday coming up and I don't have time for you being dramatic." Just threw that out there. Like, it was a normal thing to say. I remember thinking, okay, whatever. Just classic mom. But I kind of felt weird about it for the rest of the day. Skip to me at home after. I barely remember the ride back. I'm on painkillers. Everything is fuzzy. I'm trying to keep water down and the fridge is empty except for some weird half jar of olives and a Red Bull that expired in February. Didn't even have the energy to order groceries. My phone is on like 4% because the charger is in the other room and standing up just felt impossible. So yeah, not my finest hour. I remember thinking someone's going to check in. Mom or dad. Maybe my Aunt Sylvia. She's always on Facebook. She sees everything. Hell, maybe even one of those weird group chats that nobody ever uses except for birthdays. But nope, nothing. Not a single text, not a call, not even a meme. 6 whole days. I kept checking my phone like maybe I missed something. I didn't. I was literally just lying there scrolling TikTok, binging random YouTube stuff, feeling gross, and like honestly a little pathetic. My parents have always been like, not outwardly mean, just distant. Like I'm the backup plan, the one they call when they need something. Dad's always been obsessed with his image. His whole thing is acting like we're the perfect family. But at home, he barely talks to me unless it's about money or telling me how I should do things better. Mom, IDK. She's always been more about keeping things running and making sure I know my place. I used to think it was normal, but you talk to other people and realize maybe it's not. So yeah, day 6, I finally get up enough to shuffle out and charge my phone, and there's still nothing. I order some groceries. I make some ramen. I feel like crap, but hey, I survived. I figure whatever, I shouldn't expect anything. They're busy with Dad's birthday plans. I try to not let it get to me. But then a week after surgery, I get a call from Mom. Literally the only time she's called all month. I answer kind of hoping it's a check-in. At least a "how are you feeling?" But nah, she skips right to it. No small talk, just says, "So your dad's birthday is coming up and we need you to send us $1,700 for the party." Says it like it's obvious, like it's just part of my job as their son or something. I'm honestly thrown. I tell her I'm still recovering, that I didn't even get a text from them, that I can barely get around my own place. She laughs. Like, actually laughs. Says I'm just lying around anyway. At least be useful for once in your pathetic life. And she says it in that voice, the one she uses when she's talking to someone who's annoyed her in a store. I try to explain, but she just cuts me off. Says it's not her problem. I need to step up. That she's tired of my excuses. And why do I always have to make things about myself? And then she says, if you really cared about this family, you'd do what we need, not just what's easy for you. I'm not proud of this, but I kind of snap. I tell her, fine, noted. From now on, you're on your own. She just hangs up. No goodbye, nothing. Just the click. I sit there for a second just staring at my phone. And honestly, the first thing I feel is just numb. Like, this is it. This is how it's always been, and I've just never wanted to see it. I think about all the times they've done this, all the random money requests, all the parties and gifts and help with bills that always ended up being for them, not me. I think about the shared account they put my name on in college. How I never even bothered to take it off because I thought maybe one day they'd actually use it for something good. But nah, I'm done. I don't even feel sad, just pissed. If they want to treat me like an ATM, that's fine. But I'm not going to play along anymore. I'm not about to let them walk all over me just so they can throw some stupid party and brag to their friends about how great they are. No more making myself small so they can feel big. I don't know what happens next, but I'm not just going to sit here and take it. If they want to play games, I can play, too. I've got some ideas. And honestly, I'm tired of being the only one who cares about consequences. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Next week is Dad's big birthday weekend, and I'm supposed to just hand over my savings like it's no big deal. I don't think so. Not this time. Let's see how they handle it when I stop playing along. Update 1. So, I barely slept the night after that call from my mom. TBH. I just lay there replaying the whole thing in my head. Her saying I'm pathetic. Her acting like I owed them for Dad's party like it was just obvious I'd hand over almost $2,000 because I'm lying there anyway. I kept staring at my phone, almost waiting for her to text back with something normal. But nope, nothing. Not even a thumbs up emoji. Next morning, I wake up off schedule and my place is a mess. Most of my groceries are instant stuff. Noodles, cans, whatever. I'm limping around the apartment trying to pick up random painkiller wrappers and empty cups. My stitches are doing that annoying pulling thing, so everything is slow. I'm scrolling through my texts and it hits me how often my mom only messages when she needs something. Like I'm her tech support and ATM all in one, never just a check-in or a meme or a, hey, hope you're good. I look back through my messages and there it is. So many random asks. Last month it was, can you send us money for the vet for their dog? But I know she used it for Dad's golf stuff. There's even receipts she sent by mistake once, like a bill for some fancy dinner, and then a few days later her asking me to cover the electric because we're short this month. It's like every favor is framed as a big sacrifice on their part. And I'm supposed to be grateful they even ask. I start getting pissed again, like really pissed this time. And I'm thinking, why do I keep letting them do this? It's not even about the money. It's just the way it's always assumed I'll handle it. My dad used to say I should be proud to step up for family, but that just meant step up for him. I realized too that they do this because I always cave. They know I hate fighting and they count on that. But then I remember something kind of random, but honestly sort of wild. My name is still on one of their old savings accounts. It's this shared thing from back when I was in college, supposed to be for emergencies and future plans. I barely thought about it the last few years because I have my own account now, but I never took my name off. My parents used to transfer stuff in and out, but I stopped paying attention after I moved out. I never closed it because I didn't want to start a fight. Classic, right? So, I log in just to see. Takes me forever to find the right password. When I do, I almost spit out my coffee. There's a chunk of money in there, like way more than I remembered. Not rich people money, but enough that 1,700 is just a part of it. And I can see a bunch of withdrawals and deposits over the last couple years. My parents borrowing for stuff, then sometimes putting some back, but never the full amount. I scroll through and start seeing a pattern. They dip in whenever they want, never ask, and never say a word about it. Technically, it's my money, too, but they treat it like theirs. My stomach drops a bit because I realize if I don't do something, they'll probably just empty it for this party and act like it's no big deal. It's just what they do. I sit with that for a second, then get this weird surge of energy. Like, I should have done something ages ago, but now after that phone call, I'm done playing nice. I'm not going to let them walk all over me again. If they want to see what being useful looks like, fine. I'll show them. As I'm thinking this, my phone buzzes. It's my mom again, and this time, she's not even pretending to be polite. Just says, "Need you to transfer the money today. Don't make this difficult." She follows up with a second message a minute later. "We're counting on you. Dad's friends are expecting a big weekend. Don't embarrass us." I stare at the messages and something in me just snaps. I reply, "I'm not doing that. I'm still literally recovering from surgery and you guys didn't even check on me once." She fires back immediately. Says I'm being dramatic. Says, I always make things harder than they need to be. She even says, "Some people don't have family to rely on. You should be grateful we're still willing to include you." That's when I realize they actually believe this. They actually think I owe them for what? Existing. I'm getting angrier by the second and I start typing out a whole wall of text, then delete it. Not worth it. Instead, I start poking through the shared account settings. It takes a bit of Googling, but I figure out how to transfer everything to my own account. I double-check, then triple-check because I know if I mess this up, my parents will make a scene and I'll never hear the end of it. I'm not even subtle about it. I move every cent out and set up notifications for any future activity on the account. I unlink my phone from all the auto transfers they set up. I also check my own accounts because I wouldn't put it past them to try to log in and pull something. I change every password I can think of. Just as I'm doing this, my phone rings and it's my dad. I don't pick up. He calls again. I stare at the screen and let it go. After a third call, he sends a text. "What's going on? Your mom says you're being difficult. Transfer the money now. I need you to step up for once." I almost laugh at that because it's just so predictable. I can hear my upstairs neighbor moving furniture or something. And for a second, I wish I could just go up there and swap lives with her. But nah, I'm done running. I start drafting a long message to the family group chat. Not just my parents, but the aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody who's ever been at one of these family parties where my parents brag about their perfect son or how generous they are. I don't go full nuclear yet, but I spell out some of the facts. I say I just had surgery. I say I was left alone. I say I'm tired of being treated like a wallet and nothing else. I don't name call. I don't even say anything super mean. I just tell the truth. I'm halfway through typing when my phone buzzes again. This time it's a message from my dad that just says, "Don't make me come over there." I actually say out loud, "Do it." And then delete the message I was writing. I know if he shows up, it'll just be another scene. More yelling, more him getting in my space. I don't even care. I'm just tired. I put my phone down and go to the bathroom. Look at myself in the mirror. And for the first time in a while, I don't see someone who's afraid of what happens if I push back. I see someone who's actually pissed off enough to do something about it. I go back to my phone, finish the account thing, and send a short, blunt reply to my mom. "You said I'm just lying here. At least now I'm being useful. You're on your own." She calls. I let it ring. She calls again and again, and then I hear a loud knock at my door, like aggressive, not just a knock. I limp over and look through the peephole. My mom is standing there, arms crossed, looking like she's about to start yelling. I open the door just a crack and she tries to push her way in. I block her with my arm and she actually swings her purse at my shoulder. I tell her to stop. She shoves me. I shove back and she slams the door on her way out, muttering something about ungrateful kids. I lock the door and just stand there breathing hard. My phone lights up with another message. "You have no idea what you've just done." But I do. For once, I actually do. And I'm not done yet. Next up, Dad's party, the family, and all the stuff they never wanted people to know. If they want to play games, I'm playing to win. Update 2. So, I guess this is where things went from just me being angry to me actually doing something. Not even going to pretend I was calm about any of it. After my mom tried to shove her way into my apartment and acted like I was the bad guy, I just sat there on the floor, knees hurting, phone buzzing every 5 minutes, and decided I was done being quiet. I was done letting them make me feel like I was nothing but a cash machine and a backup plan. The first thing I did was double-check the account. I logged in again, checked the numbers, checked the transfer limits, made sure I wasn't about to get flagged for something dumb like suspicious activity. I was half expecting my dad to have changed the password already. But nope, they still thought I was too soft to push back. Not this time. I transferred every cent out, even the weird cents that hang around after bills get paid, and sent it all to my own account. I left the balance at zero, not even $1 for them to argue about. I was shaking, but it felt more like adrenaline than nerves. While that was processing, my dad tried calling again. I let it go to voicemail. Then he called again, then my mom, then my dad again. But this time it was just him breathing heavy for a second, hanging up. I started screen recording everything because I was pretty sure they were going to try and twist this around later. Not the first time they've played that game. They started texting, group chat, then separately. Mom said I was ruining Dad's birthday, that I was embarrassing her in front of everyone, that I was acting like a spoiled brat. Dad said I was making a scene and I better fix it before the weekend or don't bother coming back. I didn't reply. I just watched the notifications pile up and felt more sure every minute that I'd made the right call. I took a break, walked around my apartment, limped, made some instant coffee, scrolled through TikTok. Honestly, for a second I almost convinced myself to let it go, just send some back and avoid the drama. But then I remembered how my mom looked when she tried to shove past me, like she couldn't believe I'd ever say no to her. And I remembered all the times my dad lectured me about family responsibility, which always just meant do what I say, pay what I want. Nah, not again. So, I pulled up the family chat like the big one with all the aunts and uncles and cousins and people who only ever show up at weddings and funerals. I know my parents live for that group. They love showing off, acting like everything's perfect. I started typing. Nothing dramatic, just, hey, I want to clear the air about something because I'm tired of being the bad guy in my own family. I explained about the surgery, the 6 days alone, that nobody checked in, that I got a call only when they wanted money. I spelled out how much they'd taken from me over the years, how they always expected me to pay for their parties and gifts and random bills, how every favor was just them keeping me on the hook. I didn't even try to make them look bad. I just listed the facts. I attached a screenshot of the shared account activity with my name on it showing all the withdrawals and the final transfer. I said I'm not doing this anymore and from now on I'm not responsible for their bills, their parties, their emergencies. If anyone has a problem, take it up with them. I sent it and muted the chat right away. I wasn't trying to start a fight. I just wanted everyone to know what was up before my parents spun it their way. After that, I sat back and waited. The fallout was honestly kind of wild. I thought maybe a couple cousins would react. Maybe an aunt would try to mediate. But within like 20 minutes, my phone was blowing up. My cousin Harper messaged privately. Said she'd always thought something was off, but didn't want to get in the middle. My aunt Sylvia messaged too, asking if I was okay and saying she knew my parents could be demanding. Meanwhile, the group chat was lighting up. People asking if this was serious, others saying family drama shouldn't be aired in public. Some even defending my parents. A couple people asked if I was exaggerating. I just sent the screenshots again. Then my parents started up. First, it was my mom calling me ungrateful, saying I'd always been dramatic, that I was making her look bad. She said she'd never forgive me for humiliating them in front of the family. Dad texted next, all caps, demanding I fix it before the party. He said I was trying to ruin his birthday on purpose, that I was jealous of him, that he'd always known I was weak. I was just sitting there, leg propped up, watching it all go down. And for once, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel guilty. I just felt tired, but also kind of free. I blocked my parents' numbers for a bit because the notifications were making my phone heat up. I unblocked after an hour just to see if they'd calmed down. Nope. Now they were calling my neighbor, the one they barely know, asking her to check on me. She came by, knocked, Asked if everything was okay. I said, "Yeah, just family drama. Sorry for the noise." She looked like she wanted to say more, but just nodded and left. The rest of the day was a mess of group chat drama, side DMs. My Aunt Terry even called to say she was so disappointed in how I handled it, but then immediately started telling me about how my mom always made her pay for things at family dinners, too. Classic. I guess the biggest thing was just seeing how fast people picked sides. Some of my cousins got it right away. Others just said I should have kept it private. But no one really tried to defend what my parents did. Not after seeing the screenshots. Even my Uncle Sebastian, who usually plays peacemaker, just said he hoped we'd all figure it out, but that it was about time someone said something. My parents never stopped though. They started posting vague stuff on Facebook about betrayal and ungrateful children. No names, but everyone knew. I could tell because I started getting random friend requests from people I barely remember from family parties. All of them probably looking for the next bit of gossip. Then just when I thought maybe things would start to quiet down, my mom sent me a voice message. I didn't listen. I don't need to hear more of her calling me ungrateful, telling me I'm nothing without them. Whatever. I just let it sit in my inbox with the rest. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Money's safe. Everyone knows what really happened, and my parents are losing their minds trying to spin it their way. Next up is Dad's big party, which is apparently falling apart because they can't pay for half the crap they promised. I'm not invited. Honestly, I'm not even mad anymore. Just done. Let them explain it to everyone. Let them handle the fallout. I'm not playing their games anymore. But I know them. They're not going to just let this slide. There's going to be more. I can already tell by how many times my phone's buzzed while I wrote this. I'm just waiting for the next round. Final update. So, this isn't really the end, but it's definitely the part where things just stopped being about money or parties or even family. It's pretty much a new reality now. NGL, I kind of figured I'd get the silent treatment or maybe a guilt trip from my parents after all that, but what actually happened was just next level. The morning after the big reveal in the family chat, I woke up to my phone buzzing non-stop. I actually thought it was an alarm at first, but no, just message after message. Tried to get up and make myself some toast. Burnt it. Classic. Phone still going. I checked and saw there were already like 10 unread texts from my mom, plus a bunch of missed calls. Then Dad started in all caps. The classic. He always thinks yelling in texts is going to make people more scared or something. Anyway, first message is just my mom saying we need to talk. Then it's her saying she can't believe how I embarrassed her. Then it's a long rant about how I ruined Dad's birthday and now all their friends asking awkward. She even tried to say I must have misunderstood the money thing, which is pretty wild considering there's literal screenshots in the group chat now. Then she switched gears and said she was coming over. I locked the door and ignored it. She stood outside my apartment for a while knocking and then actually yelling up at my window from the parking lot. I could hear her voice through the glass. No joke, I put my headphones on and turned up the volume just to block it out. After she left more messages, she said I was cruel. Said I'd always been selfish, that I never appreciated what they did for me. I think that's the part that got me. Like, what exactly was I supposed to be grateful for? Being left alone after surgery. Being the emergency wallet every time they wanted to show off for their friends. I scrolled up and saw her saying, "You need to apologize to your father. You're still his son whether you like it or not." I just didn't answer. Around lunch, I got a call from my cousin Harper. She's not really close to my parents, but she said everybody's talking about what happened and that my parents are telling people I stole the family money. I almost laughed at that. Stole from myself. I explained how the account actually worked. And Harper just said, "Yeah, that tracks. Your mom always does this whenever she can't control the story." She said, "A bunch of people in the family chat are on my side or at least get why I did what I did, but a few are just shocked I went public." She said, "Honestly, you just did what everyone else was too scared to do, but you know, it's going to get ugly for a while." I thanked her for actually talking to me like I'm a human and not a bank. Then the real chaos started. My dad called. I let it go to voicemail, then listened just in case there was something actually important. Nope, just more of the same, accusing me of making them look like idiots, telling me I was ungrateful, that I'd regret this, that I needed to fix it before the weekend. He said, "This is your last chance." I didn't reply. The family group chat was going wild all afternoon. My Aunt Terry posted this whole paragraph about how family isn't about money. And we all have our issues, but airing them in public only makes things worse. And then like 3 people replied with, "Yeah, but maybe it's time someone said something." I didn't even jump in, just watched it play out. My uncle Sebastian, who usually tries to play peacekeeper, actually messaged me privately and said he was sorry things got so bad, but also that my parents had always acted like they were above everyone else. I just told him I was tired, which was true. Then, right before dinner, my mom showed up again, this time with my dad. I could hear them in the hallway arguing about whose fault it was. I didn't open the door. They pounded on it. Then my dad actually tried to shoulder it open. He yelled, "Open up, you coward." And then my mom started in with, "You're going to regret this. Do you hear me?" I just sat at my kitchen table eating cold leftover noodles, phone in hand, waiting for them to give up. After a while, it went quiet. Then my phone lit up again. This time, it was 15 messages in a row. All coming so fast my notifications stopped keeping up. The last one was just, "You're dead to us. How dare you humiliate us like this," in full caps. Like they were trying to break the screen with their thumbs. IDK. Maybe they thought that would finally make me back down. Or maybe they honestly just can't handle anyone standing up to them, especially me. Part of me wondered if I'd gone too far. But then I remembered every time they called me just to ask for money or made me feel like I was only there to pay their bills. I didn't reply. I just blocked them both, at least for now. I checked the group chat again, saw a bunch of relatives arguing, some saying I should make up with my parents, some saying I should cut them off for good. One of my cousins posted, "At least now we all know what's really going on." Which honestly felt like the closest thing to support I've ever gotten from that side of the family. So now it's just me, my empty apartment, and my bank account finally locked down tight. I keep waiting for the guilt or regret to hit, but honestly, I just feel done. Not happy, not sad, just done. I made some coffee, scrolled through my phone, and realized I don't owe them an explanation for finally having a backbone. Who knows what they'll do next? I'm sure there'll be another round of drama, probably some Facebook posts about being betrayed, maybe even some flying monkeys from their side of the family. But for the first time in a long time, I don't really care what they say about me. I'm not their wallet anymore. I'm not their punching bag. They can spin it however they want, but I'm not playing along.